this is David for Big Bits, and in this video we are going to talk about the newest release of the Trade Alert Responder. We've made a lot of progress on the actual application itself, and we are ready now to release this next pre-release version 1.0.6. We have a few changes, but you still are going to have to uninstall the application first if you want to upgrade to the newest version. If you haven't installed it yet, you can just go to the release. I'll try to link this in the description of the video, but if not, go to github.com/bigbitsio/trade alert responder, and then you click on the releases tab, or you can just follow this URL, pause the video, and type it in for yourself if I don't remember to put it in the description of the video. But you can see we have all of the files that you're going to need. You really just need to run the MSI file, and if you want, you can use the Test Alert Scan plugin, which is the scanning plugin that's just for testing purposes. So we've got that there. Once you uninstall it, I've already got the application up here so that we can take a look at some of the changes. We have added a couple more forms. We have settings for the plugin. So when you click on this, the interface now includes a form for the settings of the plugin. This is global settings for the plugin. No matter how many instances of it you load, it will have its own global setting to where this is the default scan delay in this instance. So the default scan delay here is 1 second because it's 1000 milliseconds. And that is going to be the default whenever you load a new instance of these. Now we do have instance settings. You can see we have this particular tab selected. Go here, you can see it says use custom scan delay, and you check that and you can set it to 10 seconds, for example. So then just close that out and it will have its own settings. You click on it again, you can see this particular instance or this tab of the plugin has these particular settings. So I've made it to where you can have global and instance settings on the plugin, and then I've also added a simple about form that is required by the interface, so that every interface should have an about form to tell you something about the plugin. And this is because eventually, hopefully when we do have other people contributing and creating their own plugins, that they will need to put in their own information here so that you will know who created the plugin and who's actually responsible for that particular plugin itself. So got that going for it. We've got several changes. I believe the menu has changed since the last version I made a video about. I've been doing some of this stuff on my own. I can't remember if it was in there before, but you'll notice a nice friendly about page for the application itself, including the donation areas. You can see the logs for the application and disclaimer, which is basically just some text for now. But this is coming along pretty well. I am getting ready to start work on some new plugins, and it's not alert scanners. This is going to be plugins, a new plugin system, which is the plugins for the actions. So the scanners generate the alerts. The actions are going to be what happens when those alerts get generated. So you start off with an alert. Well, no, you start off with a scanner. It's scanning, it's constantly looking for alerts, and based on whatever rules that scanner has. Then once it finds an alert, it tells the application it has an alert. Then the plugin for the alert actions will be triggered whenever there is a new alert. It's going to check to see what plugins you have enabled for the action, and it will perform all of those actions whenever there is a new alert. So you could send your alert to Discord, to Twitter. Maybe eventually we can do other things such as making orders, or who knows what, the multiple webhooks. That's one thing that I'm interested in having it do as well. So once we get the plugin system set up, it will be a lot easier to start developing and making the application useful. So when I first announced the application, it was really just sort of a proof of concept. I was able to create all of the projects in Visual Studio. I was able to test some of the theories that I had on how the code would actually work and how we could actually accomplish some of these things, and I was able to have it accomplish my goal. Now, the hard work has been sort of reconstructing that code in a way that's much more manageable, and not just more manageable, but extensible. So the plugin system is what I'm referring to there. So you can extend upon the code using the plugin system. I am making the code more manageable on the back end, so it's easier to read and it's easier to reference, and you don't kind of code yourself into a corner, which I don't know if most people say that, but I do, because there's a lot of people, well, there's a lot of projects that I've picked up in the past where the code is so poorly written or not well designed, and it may not be the fault of the person who created it. It may just be that they had bad requirements that were given to them, and that the requirements changed over time. But what you get into is you have a poorly designed code in the back end, starting from the ground up, to where it's impossible to do certain things the way you would like. So we're trying to make the code to where you can do just about whatever you like from that particular side of things. And hopefully, once we get the application up and running and got some things going, maybe we can start thinking about what we can actually do with it and just kind of run with it from there. I have no really plans for what's going to happen once I have the alert action plugins working, as well as the actual settings forms improved and the alerts forms improved. So we'll have to see where things go. From there, I believe, the application, I'm going to pledge that it will always be free. Now, in the long run, I believe some of the plugins or additional features might end up being something that gets charged, so it'd be kind of like a freemium application, but the plugins themselves will have their own value. So, for example, if somebody else were to want to create a plugin on this application, they could code their own plugin and require that you be registered on their website and paid a subscription. So that's an example of what can be done, and that's something that I might do myself when it comes to some of the more complicated plugins that I have in mind later on. But we'll see how that goes. For now, everything is open source. And, well, I'll just say this. If I get enough donations, I'm definitely not going to have to charge for anything ever. And I don't really plan, and I don't see that happening for a long time now. So all of the core actions, such as scanning the alerts and posting to social media, I'm pretty sure all that's going to be entirely free. Anything beyond that, we'll see how things go. But that is it for this particular video. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too long. I don't think so. Everything's going pretty well. Other than that, we're going to have a couple new videos soon on the custom candles on TradingView, and also the stochastic weights. And I'm also going to try and do a video for stochastic RSI as part of the TradingView Indicators Explained, or the Indicators Explained with TradingView series that I've done. So there is that to look forward to. I am going to be super busy next week, so I'm not going to be able to make as many videos, but hopefully I'll be able to sneak in a live stream or two and get some work accomplished on here. And anyone who has any ideas or suggestions for features for this application, I'd really appreciate it, because this is the very beginning, and taking good ideas early on is a really good idea as far as getting those features built into the core of the application, as opposed to tacking them on later on, which I would rather not do. But that's it for today. I appreciate everyone who watched the video. If you haven't already, please like the video. That helps me a lot. While you're down there, check out the link for the application on GitHub. If I put it down there, I got to try and remember that. But also, please subscribe. that helps a whole lot. If you've watched this whole video, you want to get updates on this application, you want to learn about TradingView and indicators and things like that. I do videos like that all the time. So that is definitely the end of it. That is the end of my spiel. Thank you and have a great day.